What's up everybody, Chad here for yet another Taco Tuesday, and before I get started with today's video, I would ask that you please consider subscribing. We are almost to 4,000 subscribers, another milestone for the channel, so if you could please do that, and while you're doing that, hit the little bell notification at the bottom so you can get notified of when future videos do get uploaded. And also, if you hadn't watched some of our previous videos, we have teamed up with Sparks Parts. They are a Toyota and Lexus OEM parts website that you can go and get discounted parts from. So you can get everything from an oil filter for your truck, an air filter for the engine, air filter for the cabin, and even technical things like pistons, connecting rods, and injectors. Now these aren't parts that I have gotten from Sparks Parts. This is actually from an old engine that we have here in my garage. So if you guys want to check that out, you can use the promo code that Sparks Parts and us have come up with. It is very simple. It is the name of the channel, Taco Bandit, and you get 5% off of your entire order. So you can, just get whatever you want. You just type in whatever vehicle you have, other information that you can provide to them, such as engine, transmission, stuff like that, and they can come up with a whole bunch of parts, and they provide nice diagrams so you can look by number. It'll show like what types of parts that they do have available for you. They've got a good selection of stuff, and you can also get aftermarket accessories. So if you haven't checked out sparksparts.com, please do so and consider using our promo code. Now let's get on with the video. So now moving on to today's main topic, and the main topic is that Toyota does now have the configurator up on their website for the 2018 Tacoma. Now there are some changes that you are going to see on there. I mean, obviously with the graphic that they have at the top of the page when you configure it, it does reflect the differences such as the grille and some different interior changes, and that's kind of what I'm going to highlight today. I'm not going to go over the configurator, but if you do want to check it out, go to Toyota's website and check out some of the differences that they do have for the 2018 Tacomas. I did go on there and build it just as my truck came from the factory, and we may do a video on that here soon of kind of like some of the price changes and some of the differences in the package options. I will highlight some of them today, but I'm going to be moving the camera around a little bit today. We're going to go right into the interior, and I'm going to show you some of the differences. So hopefully you can see this with the light, but obviously this is the 2016 layout right here. You do have your bed light and your outlet, which is still going to be the same for 2018. You're still going to have both of those, at least for the double cab model. You only get that light, and this is an aftermarket spot, but there is normally a blank right there. So for 2018, it does appear through the pictures that I have seen on Toyota's website that like right here in this area they have added the automatic high beam button. So that looks like that will be something that you will be able to turn off and on. If you don't want your high beams to turn on automatically, you will have a button where you can select that. But moving over to the center stack and right below the climate control knobs, there is going to be some more buttons in here, obviously. Now with like Bandit's truck, he does have the technology package, which adds the parking sensors and the blind spot monitor. So you can still have those additionally to your base Tacoma. But in the center here, they do, instead of having the Qi wireless charging button, it seems that they moved that over here to the side. And in the center, that's where they moved the power sliding rear window that came in 2017. We do not get those here for 2016, as we still have the manual window there in the back. So Toyota did just kind of switch things around a little bit, but with TSSP being standard now, also they move some steering wheel controls around, so everything for the most part does look the same. I don't believe they really changed the steering wheel except for the addition of two buttons over here, which I believe are the lane departure warning and the pre-collision warning buttons. So you can turn those on and off and kind of, I guess, set the parameters for when they do come into effect through the center stack there. Excuse me, not the center stack, your TFT display in between the gauges. But like I said, for the most part, there isn't too much that's different for 2018. but there are some changes which I think are notable, so I will go over those now. So excuse the use of the computer. I am using this to cheat because I do have a good bit of notes on here for news and for just some of the other things that I did tell you about already. But the one thing that I really found interesting with the 2018s now that I guess we hadn't really seen in the rumors and reports that we had seen on websites is that you can now get black leather in the TRD trim. So now instead of having the TRD pattern in the sport and off-road, you can have more than just that and get the black leather. To me, it looks very similar in design to the TRD Pro black leather seats. Obviously, you're not going to get the Pro badging and stitching there on those seats because it's not a TRD Pro. But moving on to like the limited trims, you are also going to be getting the addition of that black leather with the hickory leather, which is special for just that trim. So I think that's pretty cool. If I had the option to get black leather back in 2016, I don't know if I would end up paying extra for that or not. I mean, leather seats are pretty nice, but really only if they're heated or cooled. I believe you're only going to be getting heated seats still in the Tacoma. I don't think we're going to be getting cooled seats, maybe at least for another couple years. That's something that they reserve for like bigger vehicles such as the Platinum Tundras and Sequoia and Land Cruisers, obviously. But now we're going to move on to some news. So some Ford news that we do have for you this week. Ford has a patent that they have secured for an off-road autonomous driving system. So the autonomous driving system that us Tacoma owners are going to be used to are in the TRD Pro and TRD off-road trims, where you do have the crawl control and multi-terrain select knobs up there. But that still does give you some level of control, and that's through the steering wheel. You're still able to steer where you want to go, but the system in these Toyotas do control the throttle and braking for you depending on how fast or how slow you want to go, as well as changing around some of the terrain characteristics that manage your traction control systems. But for Ford, it sounds like there's going to be a use of cameras and multiple sensors and radars, and even GPS, using like topographical maps to figure out where you are in the world, and it'll just see what kind of terrain that you are in, so it can change a lot of parameters around. I'm not really sure if I like the idea of this, because it sounds kind of silly, because if you're going off-road and using all these nannies to kind of get you through stuff, that kind of takes away some of the fun and adventure of it. But one really interesting characteristic of it is that if you're in an event like an obstacle can't be cleared, if a rock is too big, or you just simply don't have the approach angles for it, it'll tell your passengers to get out of the vehicle. It's kind of silly if you think about it, because if you're in the vehicle and you're trying to do something and then you have something in the center stack, or you have all these alarms going off saying, no, we can't do this, get out of the vehicle, it's too dangerous, that's just kind of silly in my opinion. But I guess we'll see where this will be involved. They might stick that in the new Ranger Raptor at some point, and I imagine it'll be in the F-150 Raptor in the coming years when they do kind of implement that and get some of the kinks worked out of it. I'll be interested to see how it does, but I don't really know how I feel about it, to be completely honest. Moving on to some Tesla news, you all probably, if you do keep up with Tesla like we do, they did just reveal the Tesla Semi and Roadster. So as for the Semi, I'm just going to kind of read some raw numbers off to you guys, just stuff that we found interesting. But according to Tesla's website, the Semi truck will go from 0 to 60 with 80,000 pounds of load behind it in 20 seconds. That's amazing, in my opinion, that a truck that large, that's using just electric motors, can go from 0 to 60 with 80,000 pounds behind it in 20 seconds. That's just amazing, because 0 to 60 in my truck at like sea level is probably like 7 or 8 seconds. You know, it's not anything too fast, but a little over double past that, this Semi is able to get up to 60 miles an hour. That's just crazy. But it can also go up a 5% grade at 65 miles per hour. I guess it'll hold that speed pretty well, and that's pretty steep. Also, according to Tesla, the Semi is more aerodynamic than a Bugatti Chiron. Now, that's it's a supercar, a Bugatti is, and Tesla has somehow managed to make this very tall semi-truck more aerodynamic than a Bugatti Chiron. That's just, I don't know. Tesla is very amazing with the innovation that they have in their company. And all of this does come with 300 to 500 miles of range. I could not find out what determines that range for the Tesla Semi. I'm guessing it has to do with the amount of load that you have behind you, because your batteries are going to drain more when you do have more weight behind you. As for the Roadster, according to Tesla's website, again, this is where I got all of the information from, the car will accelerate from 0 to 60 in just 1.9 seconds. Now, again, to put that in perspective, the truck that I'm sitting in right now can go to 60 miles an hour from a stop in like 7 or 8 seconds, which is, adequate. I don't have any reason to go any faster, but in 1/1000, 2/1000, or even faster than that, you're able to get to 60 miles an hour in the Tesla Roadster. Now, I'm sure that there will be people doing tests on that when that does come out, but it'll be hard to find it because they're very, very expensive. The base price for the Roadster is $200,000 with a $50,000 reservation. Now, another perspective, $50,000 to reserve the vehicle for you is, you could buy 2 base Toyota Tacomas for that reservation. But according to Tesla's website, yet again, you have 0 to 100 in 4.2 seconds in the Tesla Roadster, and the quarter mile in 8.8 seconds. Those are all just record-setting numbers right there. It has a top speed of 250 miles per hour, and it all at the same time has a 620-mile range, which is amazing, but you're not going to get that range if you're doing all those 0 to 60 times, because that's just simply too much power that you're draining from those batteries. But that's, if you drive conservatively. But how is all that possible? You might be asking yourself, how can it go from 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds and have those amazing 0 to 100 and a quarter mile times? Well, again, Tesla states that the wheel torque, so at the wheels, is 10,000 Newton meters. Now, I don't think this was a typo on their website, but, I mean, these electric motors must be just massively torqued. But those Newton meters convert to 7,375 pound-feet. That's just, I don't know what more I can really say about that. But moving on to the last bit of news that I do have, and that's from Toyota. So some of you may have seen the Toyota concept being teased for the upcoming LA Auto Show. It's the Toyota FTAC. So the FT stands for Future Toyota. AC, well, that's up to you. You can figure out what that stands for. I'm not exactly sure. I have a few ideas, but leave down in the comments below what you think that AC stands for. This looks to be truck-based in nature. It does have roof-mounted off-road lights, and it could be a one-off design, or it could be used for the next generation of a Toyota vehicle. So I don't know if this is just kind of like when they brought out the... I don't remember what the name of that concept was, but it was for the Toyota Tundra, for the second generation when that was coming out. And it actually ended up looking very similar to that concept. So I don't know if this is going to be for a future RAV4 or for the next generation of the 4Runner. Some people say the Toyota 4Runner is going away. I sure as heck hope not, because that vehicle, I mean, it's been around for a long time. It's a staple for Toyota, and I'd like to see one sitting in my driveway sometime in the future. But that's all I have for news this week. So we did have a subscriber message us on Instagram, like we have asked you guys to do. If you would like to kind of get your truck in a bit of a spotlight, we are going to be posting the pictures of these people's rigs on Instagram. So if you don't follow us, it is right there on Instagram. We do have information in the description below of how to get there. But if you haven't followed us on Instagram, please consider doing so. We do post, pictures and updates of when we do put videos out there. But back to the subscriber, his name is Frank. He is from New Jersey, and he has a 2017 SR5 Tacoma. It is a double cab short bed, if you're interested in that. Like I said, we will post pictures on Instagram. And he does have the Falcon Wild Peak AT3Ws on his truck, and it sounds like he's really enjoying them. He hasn't really gotten them kind of, in some difficult terrain yet, but he said that he's going to keep us updated on that, and he is trying to build his Tacoma. Now, these AT3Ws, if you don't know about them, they're, a all-terrain tire, but they come at actually a really attractive price. I can't remember what it is that I have priced it out for on my truck, but you might see those on me or Bandit's truck in the future, because they are decently priced tires, and it seems like people really like them, including Frank. So Frank, thank you if you're watching, for submitting the pictures of your truck. They will be posted on Instagram today, shortly after the video is uploaded. So that is just about all I have for this week. Thank you guys very much for watching. Have a fantastic week, everybody, and we'll catch you next time. Also, I almost forgot, I wanted to wish you all a very happy and safe Thanksgiving this week. We might be putting out another video this weekend, but I'm not sure. We do have a very busy week going on. Bandit is in the woods right now, so if any of you see him, tell him I said hello. Well, my dog was just here, but I gotta go play with him, so I'll see you guys next time. Hey, Blaze. What are you doing?